Flue gas dew point temperature is a very critical parameter in the boiler or furnace operation. What is my dew point? Dew point is nothing but temperature at which first droplets get appear. Actually, the gas will be in the gaseous states, the vapor state. So the temperature at which it will get droplets or drop is called the dew point. So why it is a critical means, in the flue gas we have oxides of sulfur. So sulfur dioxide will form first, because in our fuel oil we have sulfur content. It will get vary based on the fuel we are going to compass. We have in the market heavy fuel oil, low sulfur heavy stock, LSHS, HFO, LDO, light diesel oil. And in the crude we have vanadium, so whenever the vanadium is there, we will get catalyze the sulfur dioxide into sulfur trioxide. Vanadium is a good catalyst for the oxidation of sulfur dioxide to sulfur trioxide, and iron oxide also there, it will also promote this reaction. So we want to maintain the temperature above that of the flue gas dew point temperature to avoid this condensation. So if it is get condensed, what will happen? So SO3, and in the flue gas we have the water vapor. So both will get react. SO3 condensed and then this water vapor will react to form sulfuric acid. It is a more corrosive for the hot gas heaters or in the ducts. And carbonic acid also can form due to this condensation of this carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide. So we should have a control and measures to avoid this occurrence. So the flue gas temperature we should maintain above the dew point temperature. These are the hot gas and cold gas heaters tubes which are get blocked with the with sulfur. And if the temperature is more, it is more than 500, 530 above, so hot and corrosion also can take part. That is, vanadates can form, can get oxidized and formation of the vanadates. So it will get deposit as a slag, the vanadium. So it should be avoided. So that is when the vanadium goes above its melting point, that is above the 530 degrees centigrade. That time only it can happen. So we should take care of this both hot and cold and corrosion to avoid like this blocks. You see this full bore of the tube is get blocked with the sulfur. This yellowish part is sulfur. So if you not properly maintain, this can happen. And the cold and corrosions can cause the tube corrosions. You see these tubes are get thin out and it is very lesser thickness than that of the design. So we not maintain the temperature. These are the drawbacks we are going to face, and we need to replace the tubes, and it will create the pressure drop and will create the furnace pressure also, because this blockages, what will happen, the flue gas get restricted to pass through these tubes. Normally the flue gas will pass through the tube inside for effective soup blowing process. So you should take care of this temperature. It is one of the very critical parameter in the boiler and furnace operations. So now we'll go for this calculation part, how we are going to calculate the, you see how it is get blocked, will create the more pressure drop, and these are the stacked tubes which are removed from the hot gas and cold gas heaters. Now what are the parameters we required for this calculations? First we need the fuel oil parameter. So fuel oil sample you want to collect and want to give to lab for the analysis. First is the density at 15 degrees centigrade. And then this ash content, sulfur content, moisture will be around 0 only. Name we should analyze, and flue gas parameters. Next one we require. Actually, we are going to calculate the sulfur dioxide dew point. So we need to find out the how much sulfur dioxide is get generated in the boiler, in the furnace, which is exit in the stack, and then water vapor H2O, how much is the formation. This both we need. So we want to calculate the stoichiometric calculations, that is air required for this complete combustion. So by this we can calculate the other components also. So O2 in flue gas, it will be in the just before the stack entry. In our case it is 7.5%. These are weight by weight, all are weight by weight. And O2 in ambient air, all we know, 21%. This is the mole by mole fraction, not weight by weight. And then flue gas pressure before inlet to stack, only say as stack pressure, 6.9 mm water column. These parameters are we have taken from the operating values, that is boiler furnace in the operations. So we should take these operating parameters. This is of how much we are range we are operating, how much parameters we maintained. And then fuel oil mass flow rate of fuel oil. O2 in flue gas, if we have the O2 analyzer in before the stack, we can get it. Otherwise, we can go for the analysis or set analysis or the laboratory analysis, whether we can get it. .15 metric ton per hour. This will get from the mass flow meter. We will go for, these are the parameters we require, this much only. Lab analysis, flue gas parameters, and fuel oil flow. Then we go for the calculations. So first we'll calculate the hydrogen percentage, hydrogen in fuel. That is, we have the formula 26 minus 15 into density at 15 degrees centigrade. So we'll get the hydrogen percentage. This will be in the weight by weight. On carbon in fuel, it is 100 minus all. We want to subtract hydrogen, ash content, sulfur content. If we subtract it, we will get ash content is 0.15, sulfur content is 2.05, 2.04. So 86.495 is the carbon content in the fuel. Then what are the various fuel content individual flow rate? That is, what is the flow rate of sulfur? So how much percentage we have the sulfur into, that will be 100 into mass flow rate of the fuel. So 0.13 is the sulfur flow rate, carbon flow, because we want to calculate the air requirement and the flue gas composition, right? For that, carbon in fuel, carbon how much is there? Also we can, same thing, carbon will be 100 into fuel, mass flow rate of the fuel. Hydrogen, same, hydrogen content will be 100 into mass flow rate of the fuel, 0.7. Next, air requirement we can calculate. Air required for complete combustion. So theoretical oxygen required, first we want to calculate. Theoretical oxygen required for fuel combustion. So oxygen required for fuel combustion. Actually, we have the in fuel sulfur, carbon, hydrogen we have. So for combustion of carbon, we can see it, for 1 kg of carbon required 32 divided by 12 kg of oxygen, right? Here we can calculate 32 divided by 12, it will give 1 kg of carbon, how much kg of oxygen is required, right? So 32 divided by 12, into carbon, this much megaton per hour carbon, and then hydrogen. For 1 kg of hydrogen, 16 by 2 kg of oxygen is required by this formula, by stoichiometry. 16 divided by 2 into tons per hour of hydrogen plus carbon, hydrogen, sulfur. Sulfur will take as complete combustion for sulfur dioxide. This is going to form, right, oxidize. So 1 kg sulfur is required, 1.5 kg of oxygen, right? So 1.5 into sulfur. correct? So this much tons per hour of oxygen we required. So theoretical air required, how much will be there? This oxygen required, theoretical air required. So for this, we want to know in 1 kg of air, how much kg of oxygen. We know 21%, it is mole by mole or volume by volume fraction. You see here, we have calculations. 0.21 kilomole of oxygen and 0.79 kilomole of nitrogen is equal to 1 kilomole of air. So you put this molecular weight 28.84 kg of air, which is equal to 0.21 into 32 will be there. So 0.21 into 32, 6.72. Okay, so 6.72 will be 28.84. It will give the oxygen 0.23301. So it will be in 1 kg of air. So how much air you required, this divided by 1158 tons per of air you required, correct? So percentage excess air. Actually, we supplied excess air for complete combustion, correct? So percentage excess air already we calculated in the previous video. Same thing, O2 in flue gas divided by 7.5 O2 in flue gas divided by ambient air. What is the O2 content? 21% minus O2 in flue gas into 100 is the percentage excess, right? So actually air supplied for complete combustion is theoretical air into how much excess? 55 point by 100. This tons per hour of air we supplied. Okay, then oxygen in supplied, how much oxygen is there? To find out the free oxygen. Oxygen supplied, oxygen in supplied air. This same formula 0.23301 will give you oxygen. So excess oxygen in flue gas is equal to, you want to calculate it, right? Excess oxygen in flue gas, that is how much we supplied, how much is consumed, remaining is 1.08 is the excess oxygen in the flue gas. Simple stoichiometric calculations, no need to worry, it is going long video like that. Simple stoichiometry combustion calculation only. Flue gas pressure we have in we need in atmospheric absolute pressure. So it is in mm water column. So this is the formula for conversion. 10,333.33. Actually 1 mm water column is 1000 mm water column is equal to 10,333 mm water column is equal to 1 atmosphere pressure plus 1 atmosphere pressure. One is added for absolute conversion in ambient 1 atmosphere pressure, so that So O2 in flue gas. Then we want to calculate the CO2, how much is there, SO2, how much is there, all we want to calculate. O2 in flue gas, H2O in flue gas, SO2 in flue gas we want to calculate, correct? To find out the flue gas analysis. So by this formula it will be helpful for you. That is 1 kg of carbon is equal to 12 kg of carbon is equal to 44 kg of CO2, right? So 44 divided by 12 into how much kg of carbon? 5.32, right? To 5.32. So multiple 19.5 by 10 per. So water, same thing. 18 kg of water is equal to 2 kg of hydrogen. So 18 by 2 into hydrogen is 0.7. 6.26 the H2 formation. So SO3 formation, if you burn 32 kg of sulfur gives 80 kg of SO3. So 80 divided by 32 into, so how much you burned? Sulfur 0.13. 0.31 is the, so we'll go for flue gas composition. Going to complete calculation. Flue gas composition is the component we want to go for modal fraction, mole fraction or volume fraction for find out this vapor pressure. With vapor pressure we can find out the dew point, percentage mole. So component as we know, oxygen, nitrogen, CO2, SO3. For a safer level, we take all the compositions are taken part. Sulfur can be converted into SO3, we taken part, not we taken SO2. Okay. So kilomole per hour. Oxygen is how much kilomole per hour? So this much metric ton divided by 32, right? Molecular weight is 32. So divided by molecular weight divided by molecular weight will give the mole nitrogen. Adding simple calculations. Actually, air we have 133, oxygen you calculate like this. Total air you know for complete combustion into 1 minus 0.23301. So remaining the nitrogen, right? So you got the nitrogen. 102.1 metric ton per hour is nitrogen. Nitrogen molecular weight is 28, right? So this is the nitrogen. CO2 formation is 19.5 divided by 44. SO3 is, it is SO3 in flue gas, right? Now done wrongly. It's SO3. I'm correcting now. Okay. SO3 molecular weight is 80. Water 18, right? Molecular weight. So total is oxygen. We want to take subtract it. We want to subtract. It is a O2 free flue gas composition. We want to calculate, so that we want to subtract mole fraction. As you know, individual mole divided by total mole will give the mole fraction. So same thing. This divided by this divided by this, individual mole by total mole, individual mole by total mole. So it will give 1. Okay. It is a mole fraction. You can put into 100 also to get the percentage mole. I not multiplied by 100, so I put only this mole fraction. Okay. So dew point formula is it will give one, right? That means correct. So dew point formula is 255 plus 27.6 into log of, you exactly put the same one bracket and log all the same. This is both are constant, formula constant. Just here we want to multiple this SO3 mole fraction into total pressure just before this tag. That's it. Into 18 points plus 18.7 also the constant. Only this SO3 H2O and then total pressure, because partial pressure of this SO3 and partial pressure of this water into total pressure, if you multiple it, we'll get it this dew point. That's it. This formula same, you use it, don't vary. Just you want to enter in this SO3 mole fraction, no need to put 100 because it is SO3. This is also H2O mole fraction, no need to put 100. If you put in percentage, you want to put 100 into total pressure, that is flue gas pressure just before the tag entry. So 151.67 is the flue gas dew point. We want to maintain above this temperature to avoid the condensation, to avoid the cold and corrosion. Just I recap bit. So first of all, in the flue gas, there is a possibility of hot and corrosion and cold and corrosion. Hot and corrosion will take part when because vanadium. One more thing I want to share is whenever the crude or whenever the fuel oil is having the more than 100 ppm of vanadium and 200 above 200 ppm of vanadium, differentiation is there. So low vanadium crude, high vanadium crude, we'll call these things. So hot and corrosion is taken part above the 530 degrees centigrade, should be avoided because there is a vanadium formation will be there. The slag and slag depositions will be there in the tubes and this furnace and duct. The duct deposition will be there. So cold and corrosion will take part whenever the flue gas temperature is below the dew point. Condensation will take part. That is the acid dew will form over the surfaces, duct surfaces and the tube surface will get curved and thin out the tubes. And due to the blockages, we have the more pressure drop across the furnace and then across the tubes to create the furnace high pressure. So for us, we need crude fuel oil analysis and flue gas analysis and pressure and mass flow rate of fuel oil. By that we can calculate the hydrogen carbon content. Into the flow rate we want to calculate, and combustion air required for combustion, oxygen, how much is there in that we want to calculate it. And the flue gas pressure at stag entrance we want to convert into atmospheric absolute. So we want to calculate the mole fraction, and then we have apply this formula. In this only you want to enter these things only. It is a two variable only there. One is the water mole fraction into total pressure, SO3 mole fraction into total pressure. That is furnace. That's it.